Hi, we're going to dive right into matting our album. And I started this video and then I had to stop. That's why mine is just laid out like so. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grab our original and I'm going to show you as I go along. Some of you are going to be waiting for more paper because of the error. I already did the video. So there's another video if you haven't watched it. But I think we've gotten everybody taken care of who purchased the large album. It's only the large, not your 6x6. There wasn't enough paper. So we're going to start on the inside here. And you'll be getting enough paper if you want to match it identical. I did not have enough, and that's why you're going to see the variations here. And just, I added some extra strips, and that's all on this first page. But everything's cut and inked so that hopefully we can just breeze through and you can get your album finished. Now, if you're waiting for more cardstock or more pattern paper, you definitely can get this done almost. So, in your kit, you have the extra sheets, and I'm going to just use the navy bluish color. Mine happened to be the Bo Bunny. You may have the red and the blue, or a ivory and a blue one with spectrum. So I like the way it looks, so I'm going to go ahead and use this. And I cut this 9 7/8 by 9 7/8, and I actually went a little shorter by accident. That's kind of my trademark. Cut your paper too short lately. So definitely do your measuring between your score lines. So it should be about maybe even 9 3/4 by 9 7/8, because remember our album is 10 inches long. So I'll just go ahead and add my adhesive. And I will show you where I did the different matting. And in most spots, if you're waiting for those extra sheets, you'll be able to get it done. Some of you may have already received them in the last day. And I'm really sorry about that. All I can say is attribute it to the busyness of the holidays and just me. I have no excuse, just me. But we did make it right. That's the thing, we'll always make it right. Okay, so for the right hand side, okay, let me show you here. Like I said, you'll have enough of the black and white. Where I did not, I'm using the black and white scrolling. And I'm going to give you the measurement for that and the measurement for this one. So there'll be two. I'll give you the original measurements first. Everything is 9 7/8 of an inches long. And this was 5 1/8. And then I did a 1/2 inch strip just to break up and add some color there. And it is 9 7/8. But on this one, I'm doing a strip that is 3 5/8 wide by 9 7/8. And then I just picked up this piece that is 9 7/8 by 1 3/4. And I liked that too. So still pretty close. And it's the back side of your home sheet. Now your other one though, that black and white, is not. And you'll see what it is in just a second. And don't forget, albums, whether they're mine or our designers, anybody's, you don't have to make it with this paper. So you can go back and remake this great Christmas album, great birthday album, just about anything you like. Do not ink that edge. So just remember, tutorials are made, and then you can use them for whatever you like. and whatever paper collection you like. We do the kits. I do the kits with the pre-cut chipboard, and I know that helps sometimes if you're in a hurry, or you just need a project, or you don't want to cut the chipboard. I understand. So we have the big cutters. So also, if you see a project, don't hesitate to pop me an email and ask if I'll cut the chipboard for you, because I sure will. Especially if you don't have a cutter that does chipboard very well, and it's one of our tutorials, even for the design team. Don't hesitate. I only charge what the chipboard costs, basically. So we're going to cut some slits in this one. I'm trying to keep my pieces together. And in the original album, I did the whole length. This time I'm not going to have enough because I had to share with the right side. So you would want to cut yours 9 3/8 by the 9 7/8. Mine, whoops, is 8 3/8. So it's an inch short. So I will have the same pink that's going to sit on this side and fill in for me. I'm going to just move this over. And this is something you can do or you don't have to do. And we're going to cut the slits. Now the dies have been on the website, so there is a die you can use by Heartfelt Creations, but I'm just going to cut these little slits by hand, especially for those of you that do not have a die machine or you don't have dies. You can do these by hand. Let's start this way. Pencil. And I'm just picking one. I'm going to come up, and I'll tell you how many inches I'm coming up. So 3.5 inches is where this strip is. And the main thing is you want to definitely leave room on both sides because we have to adhere this down. So I'm going to come in 1 inch, 1.5 inches. That's going to give me enough room. I know I'm not going to have anything torn. And I just want, because the cards are 3 by 4, I'm going to mark it at 5.5, and I put my ruler. I restarted it here, so it's right here, and I've got 1.5 inches on each side. So I'll put my ruler right on that black line. I'm going to cut. This paper makes it easy. And you don't want to try and cut the whole thing at once, but first poke a hole. And we're going to poke a hole down here. Kind of helps keep those ends from tearing. I'm just going to lightly, because I don't want my ruler to move. And I don't want to tear my paper. I am cutting the ruler. Let it go through. There we go. And then if you decide you want another one, I'm just going to come up about 3 inches. I'm going to off-center it a little bit. And I already know just to keep 1.5 inches away from each side. Sometimes I don't even check and I just went off. But it's going to be okay because this is actually glued down. And this one's a little bit smaller. They can be any size. You don't even have to measure them if you don't want to. They're just for fun. But when we do, I'm going to show you our glue. Let's Go ahead and move these guys. Now our album's there. Doesn't want to play nice. So when I adhere this down, so I have my openings back here, I want to put glue at the top. See these? We have to leave these open if you want your cards to come through, and then we'll put glue here because in our card we don't want it to go all the way through. So let me add adhesive here at the top. And then across the top of this one, and I'm having trouble with tips lately. They're driving me crazy. I'm washing them and everything, and I don't know if it's the fluctuation of the temperature being colder here in the basement. And then it gets warmer when I turn the heat on, but I'm about ready to throw the tips away, but you do need them. See, in the summer, our tips kind of stay warm. Doesn't get cold, then dry out, and then warm. So I just do think if you too are having some trouble with the tips, it's the fluctuation of temperature. Now, if you have a scrap piece or your bone folder, just go down in there, making sure the adhesive didn't get into your spot. Just like that. It's so simple. And then my little strip, of the opposite side will go down. And I keep putting new tips on instead of washing them. Yeah, it definitely is the fluctuation of temperature because it's a mess. This is a brand new one. You see, we really need our tip. Okay, the back. That helped. That helped. No. So I thought it went really well. Then when we open the back side, that's where our fun apple pie goes. And it measures 9 3/8 by 9 3/4. Because this flap was, of course, a little bit smaller. So I think that was 9 3/4. Yeah, just always remeasure it because it also just depends on how you cut your paper or score. Sometimes it's a little different. Okay, that's it. I'm done with those. And if you are using your bottle without a tip, just be very light. Not even barely pushing. Because you don't want a lot of art glue. More is not better with this. Because you just don't need more. I love that. And that's one of those pages where you don't want to put anything on there. You just want to enjoy the paper. So I have enough of the black. And what we're going to do. Much better. No, that'll be better for you too. So that's the back of the kitty. And it's 6 7/8 again, and it comes out to be just a little hair. Mine is a little longer than 9 3/4. And that will be a terrific spot for photos. After we mat, we'll go back and put on the embellishments. Now remember, if you get to a page and you find you didn't have enough, that's where, and if you bought the kit, if you bought the whole kit, chipboard, flowers, everything, then you do have more coming. And we're getting the rest of it out Monday. This side has the white and the really cute border and that piece left over of the black. I think a little piece is right here. Okay, let me give you the measurements for all of these. The plain white, 6 7/8 by 5. So your border strip, when you cut it, is 6 7/8 by 2 1/4. And I just cut it from the bottom so that we sent it all out. Let me see if I can show you. So they're in strips like this, and I just start at the bottom and then work up. It just seems to save your paper that way. And then you're going to have a piece of the black strip that is 2 1/2 by 6 7/8. Let's put down the white first. White border, okay, matches. I don't want to get anything on that white, so I'm going to cover it in my dry diaper white. Keep my white paper clean. I'm going to set my border and then set my bottom strip to make sure I place the white So I'll put this one down and we'll see. I may have to trim some off of mine because I don't want to trim it off the border. And I'm going to use my album. I'm going to use this one because now I have 3 of them for summertime recipes. This just remind me of everything in the garden. So the garden, and we have a huge garden. So I'm going to use it for the things I make and to keep record, like up here. I'm not actually going to use this for a picture. I decided that I'm going to put 2019, what we planted in the garden, and use this as a journaling spot. It doesn't really scream winter. It does, you know, it's just, even though there's some sayings about round the fire and things like that, I thought it'd be really fun just to kind of journal the garden. Okay. I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off the bottom. For me, that was great. That's enough border. Things keep falling down. Okay, there we go. Now our pocket, everything's out. So our pocket is also broken up on the front. Oh, wait a minute, I didn't cut. Oh, I didn't cut the paper from there, so we'll do that together. And you can have your squigglies go that way if you want. Mine are going sideways. And the sizes. The top piece, 4 3/8 by 5. Then my little centerpiece is 2 1/8 by 4. And so 4 3/8 is our length. So this is going to be 4 3/8 by 2 1/2 for the bottom. Okay, everything looks good on my end. We can glue it down. Oh, so your back side is your cute little border strips. And then, you know, I'm going to stop for a second. Let's just, there, move him over. Center one. I didn't just do that, did I? I did. Well, guys, guess what? I don't know why I did that. But it's okay. Just going to look like it's sectioned. So don't put yours down there. I hope you didn't follow me. Oh, I really hope you don't. But it's okay. I will put a different embellishment on this page. I'll show you the original one. There was none, so that's a great decorating opportunity for an embellishment from our ephemera pack. Let me show you how it's supposed to look. Oops. Sorry. Now put the strip, which in the original album was this leftover apple pie with the let me show you. And even though I could probably get by with it, you can still tell, I can tell it's upside down. So I'm just going to flip mine over. And it happens to be 1 7/8 by 9 3/4 to fit down into the pocket. 1 7/8 by 9 3/4. Let me get one of my handles here. And for the inside, let me show you what we have here. I didn't cut these. So this one, until you get your replacement papers, you probably won't be able to cut it. So you'll want to wait till you get your second set of these papers. For me, I'm just going to use the flowers because like I said, I ran out because we needed to replace all the kits. So need that for the cover. I guess I could go pink and white. That's what I'll do. Let me give you the size. We're going to do a strip. Of our hearts. Now also wait to cut your hearts. You can go ahead and put this down. You're getting that second sheet of the hearts. So my white, it's going to be 5 inches by 9 3/4. So I'm going to cut my 9 3/4 by 5. And then this little guy will be like 3/4 of an inch, but I'll put this one down first, and then I'm gonna measure my actual. So I'm gonna do 5 5/8 again by the 9 3/4. I'm going to use this one, and then I'm going to cut also my little strip of that in just a moment. So you'll want to wait on this until that second set gets here, or if you're using a different paper, 5 5/8 by 9 3/4. And I am using a different paper. Take a little bit of that off. So I'm going to take it down to 5 1/2. Better fit. Quarters, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it on my big cutter, my lane. Let's go ahead and put this down because he just keeps floating everywhere. This is for your spine, and it's going to be 1 inch by 9 7/8 of your hearts. And you may need to wait. I would wait on that till that second sheet shows up. Or you can go ahead and cut this now, and then we have another section where we use this. You can wait on that. And if you're not using this paper, then go ahead and cut your 1 inch by 9 7/8. And I am going to have to, see it's going everywhere, take off camera because this is just, I just put a new sponge on, and I'll tell you what, they're not lasting. Again, thinking maybe the dryness in the air with winter. This piece I am not going to ink. Then this, I'm going to have to cut it down. So I'm going to just cut it to fit what you're doing, of course. I cut it at 3/4. And we'll go 5/8. It's like 1/2 inch. Again, when you're piecing like this, you do have, it's like quilting. You just have to fit it sometimes. And that actually gave me perfect hearts. So I like that. I'm just going along the edges lightly. And it is. It's just going everywhere off that sponge. The sponge is tearing apart. I don't know if it's the thickness of the paper, the dryness of the weather. It's just happening. All right, we're getting a little glue to be there. Nice place for photos for sure. And we do have a little sticker that goes on this that will go back and do at the end. So you just never know what you pick up. And of course, white paper would be a magnet. I just went right down the middle because the glue's going to spread out when I squish it. Leaving a little border of the black. This one's wet. Let me just clean that off. We'll also come back and do the cut aparts. Show our center. Now, the second piece that's going on the spine, again, is the 1 inch by 9 7/8. And I'm going to go ahead and put it down so that it's not going to get lost. And if you cut this now, just know you may have to wait. There's a piece in here, and that's okay because it's not like major construction. It's easy to lay that matting down when your paper arrives if you're using this one. And you might notice I did change the magnets. We're experimenting. We are having extra large magnets made, so you're only going to need one per cover, and hopefully they'll be here soon. Okay, let's do this whole center layout, and I want to show you first. So all this will be the same. The back, I did do the solid, and I'm going to change it on mine, but you can do it this way. If you want to do it this way, you need to wait till you get your second sheet, and then I'll have this whole piece here. Okay, and everything in here will be the same, but you won't be able to do the houses. Actually, you won't be able to do it till your paper gets here, but you can do the white. So I'd get all your white matting cut, and I'll give you those sizes, and you'll be able to mat that. And then when the paper arrives, you can just do the patterns. So first thing I'm going to do is lay down my mushrooms. I love the mushrooms. So you'll have the second sheet of cut of hearts. And it is 9 3/8 by 9 3/4. And the only reason I keep saying you won't be able to do this, because I don't mean to be annoying like that, I don't want you to sit there and say, wait a minute, I don't have enough paper from the kit. But you will when your kit gets there. So if you want to buy this paper collection that's just adorable, we have more also coming. You will need 2 collection kits, not just one. And that was also, I just wasn't thinking. I know very well Cartabella only puts 1 sheet of each design. And for some reason on this kit, it just didn't you know, click. It was one of those. I'd been working so much with the authentic paper and the double papers, and it just happens. Okay, like I mentioned, my backside is going to change. And this is that second color you had received in the kit. So, I'm doing the border strips, but I'm only doing mine 7 inches long by 4 3/8 wide. And I'm going to that there, and then I'm going to use the coordinating that came at 2 1/4 by 4 3/8. So you'll need 2 of each. And I'll move the book in just a moment. So I'm going to put the strips out here, and then you can use the polka dots, or I think I'll go plain. We have enough pattern here, and that's going to give me a jotting space, a journaling spot. And if you want, you can do this now, but you'll want to wait if you're going to go the full length. I always bring my glue in a little from the edge, because I know I'm going to squish it out. And then that gave us a little separation, so it doesn't, I mean, it just looks like it's, I love that piece look, especially with this paper. It's so 70s. I think it's so 70s. We're going to repeat the same on the bottom flap. The only thing is, this should have some gnome. I'm waiting for a gnome to stick his head out of our mushrooms. Speaking of gnomes, I wonder where my little gnome Wilbur is. He's pretty quiet. Yeah, I'm waiting any day for my favorite plastic scraper to crack the rest of the way. I'm hoping it doesn't. I mean, I have some new ones. I even have the, you know, the big one from Memory Keepers, but it's too bulky. It's just not flat like this. Now I'm going to grab my white for our flaps. So we have doubles here. White, white. So I did the whole inside white. Great picture out. Just great for pictures to be laid out. I'm going to give you, and then the outside here. Now these are your little flaps, the outside, unless you use a different, or you want to do them all different, you do need to wait to cut those. So I'll give you the measurements of the inside. So you're going to need 2 4 3/8 by 9 3/8. Then you need 4 3 3/4 by 4 3/8. 3 3/4 by 4 3/8, and you need 4 of the white. Now these are the same measurements for the outside. Then you need 4 4-inch by 9 3/8. Well, 9, I went just a hair over 9 1/4 by 4 1/8 by a hair over 9 1/4. You want 4 of those. And you want the exact same measurements for the flaps of the pattern paper. but you do not need this bigger base, the first one I gave you. So I'm just going to do the inside matting on one, and I'll do the outside matting on both of them because the top one is identical to the bottom, but I need to mat both of them with the pattern paper so we can make our little stoppers. To the top. And this is identical to what the top will look like if you wanted to. Definitely a great photo spot. This is the bottom. These are the exact same, 9 1/4 by 4 and 4 1/8. And this one is it the blue on the top? 4 on the top. Okay. Sometimes it's just easier to burnish from the other side. And I have my 4 houses, same size as I gave in the beginning. And these are actually to the outside. I have the red one on the bottom. When I made the album, so places that I am planning on putting pictures, it's mostly where I used the paper that had the less pattern, because you don't want it to compete with your picture. And if you do have more of a pattern, that's when I would use photo matting, because like on the other side where it was all those blue huge flowers, your picture can kind of be swallowed by the big pattern. So I have some pictures of Wilbur in my mom's yard sniffing flowers, and I probably will put some leftover scraps of this blue one here at the bottom as a photo mat on here, but it's the perfect background for him out there smelling the flowers for the first time when he was just a puppy last year. Now, and he's awake. He heard his name. Now, these are going to be stiff because we're going over quite a few, and I didn't want to make gussets. Gussets, they just seem to get smashed to me, but our little holders are going to hold this down nicely. And if you remember on the other video, I mentioned you're going to want 3 inches by 1 inch. And I've already scored them on the 3-inch side at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. So we'll do the bottom. Like I said, the top is identical. I'll just show you the different placement of paper. So one will go here, and one will go there. And we're going to measure. I know, scary, huh? So I have 2 1/4. 2 1/4 and 1 1/4. So what I did is, let's measure 1 1/4 from the bottom first. Right, it's 2 1/4 in. It seems too far. No? Oh, I know why. 2 1/4. How about if I use the measuring stick right? And then it's 1 1/4 from the bottom. And that is where this left side edge of mine is going to go. So now I measured. Well, that's not right either. There we go. 2 1/4. Okay, this is from this edge to here is 2 1/4. Then from the bottom, I have this fancy ruler. What on earth am I doing here? There we go. So this edge is 2 1/4 from there, and then the bottom is 1 1/4 from the bottom. I'm just going to hold that with my thumb. And I'm just going to use my ruler. I'm pushing up against the bottom here. And then 2 1/4. And like I said, I'm just keeping my ruler now, even with the bottom of this one. Same thing, 2 1/4, 1 1/4. Whoops, oh, don't move. Right, there we go. I can see this wanting to stick out a little bit. There we go. So now it's 2 inches by 1. So these are 1 7/8 by 7/8 of an inch. And you'll want 4 of these as you want 4 of your tabs. I'm going to take this from my other albums. We're going to make 2 of these. See how nice and tight that holds it. So one reason I wanted to try this, we're going to cut it. Whoops, just a hair short of what I did on this one. Because we need to make 2 of them because you want to repeat all your cuttings for the top. And for this outside flap, I use the green. But you can go in any direction you like. I use the green there. Okay, let's cut a strip from our scraps. And this one is 8 1/2 inches long, and I cut my width at 1 7/8. So I'm going to cut it just a hair short of 1 7/8 because I do know that that was a little snug. I'm just going to grab my scrap, cut it at 8 1/2 inches long. And let's go just short of 1 7/8. You want it to be, you want it to slide through, of course, but you don't, and you want it to be just a little tight. There we go. But you don't want it to be super tight because we're going to mat it. So we need 2 of those. And I'm going to cut my second one the same, I'm sure, because I've already done the tabs. They'll be the same. So we need to cut from our scraps our matting. And I'm going to go for 1 3/4 by 8 3/8. So let's see what I have that I can use. I did do the back of the other one in this, and I did the front in the navy blue. But because I am out of the navy blue, I'm going to go with this for one side, the front side, and this for the back side. Eight 3/8. And I'm going to go 1 3/4. A little bit off. A little bit more off. Okay, let's cut 2 of those. And for the back, I thought I'm just going to use the butterflies. I'm going to ink the edges real quick. That's going to be it for that sponge. That one's going to go in the garbage when we're done here. See, use my Fiskars cutter, and I just know it's off. This, I do know that it's off. So now we'll put our gate guard up here, keeps our little side flaps down, and it keeps it nice and tidy. No magnets needed that way. It turns out really cute. I love that. So let's do the inside. Okay, now again on this paper you'll need to wait. I'm actually using that second piece of coordinating here, and the pockets will make. I'm going to put the kitties on my pockets instead of the blue. So it's kind of a good choice too if you're maybe you don't want the kitties as your the whole page, because maybe you just want a little touch of the kitties. So that's this other piece that we cut those ones out of, and it is mine's 9 3/8 by 9 3/4. 9 3/8 by 9 3/4. And then I cut 2 pockets. My pockets are matting out at 5. They're both 5.5 by 5. Let me show you. So I'll just show you on the one. So on the 5.5 inch side, you need to be on the 5.5 inch side, score it 1/2. Turn it to the 5 inch side, score it 1/2. And again, to the 5.5 inch side, score it at 1 inch. And you'll do both of these the same way. Then I cut 4 3/8 by 4 3/8 2 kitty prints. And we'll go ahead and fold up our pockets. But from the inside, it's picking up that ink that is on the sponge. Miter the corners. and repeat with your second pocket. Okay, let's get back to finishing this. Sorry, Wilbur had, well, he had the salt and pepper shaker from Pioneer Women. I've got the, you know, her Buddy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pioneer Women. Buddy, her Bassett. And he come walking down with the salt and pepper, or the salt shaker from the set in his mouth. So, our cabinets are being painted. They're open right now. I've got to work on them this weekend and get everything cleaned up so when they come to finish painting Monday. And the matting will go on. But let's just set this aside for a moment until we add our matting. So, the original one had the full sheet, and you'll be able to do that if you want the full sheet of kitties in the background. And then this, the blue that I used. But I'm going to go ahead and use this. I think it's going to look really great and give it a good contrast. Wilbur. He's over there in the classroom, in the dark, and he's got something. Not sure what he's got. Wilbur, what have you got? He knows I'm watching him. Excuse me. Okay. Our first one, opening at the top, is going down here. My second one is going here. Then we have the cute little tags. So I'm going to do the bottom one first. And I'm going to do about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. A little bit more. But no, it's about a little, yeah, it's just a little over 1/8 of an inch, probably 3/8. No, it's not 3/8. 1/4 of an inch, sorry. Even that. This is where I miss my fine tip, but it's got to be cleaned tonight again. I have about 8 of them that need to be cleaned. Then I just did the little stick type from our scraps. And they're kind of cute to journal on. And then if you have a picture you want to put them by, or use for bookmarks if you do read. So your kitties, one is going to go, they're both going to go so our orientation's the correct way. These are 4 3/8 by 4 3/8. Because every home needs a kitty, even if you don't actually have one. Or I'm sure you had one at one time. Barn kitty, outside kitty. Okay. Now the top one. About the same border that I'm doing from the side and the top here. And then check your orientation because you want your kitties. And these, they all go, they kind of go on this, all the different directions, but I chose the main ones that are facing so it looks like the orientation is the correct way on my pattern. But you do have upside down and sideways kitties on this line, so it's okay. Then we'll come back and we'll put cute little embellishments. And then this was the frame. Now the only thing is I won't be able to reuse the frame. I don't have another package of embellishments. But I mean, I have embellishments, so I'll be doing something different. But this will be in your packet. And once you put your picture down, then you can actually adhere the sides or just leave it open. It's fine. Okay, we're going to mat. We're going to do our pocket, our lay flat pocket, and then we're just going to do the mattings. I'm going to give you the sizes for those, and then we'll do the inside here. So for our center, these are, I may grab 2 inches by 9 7/8. And you're going to want 2 of those. That's not for here. That's for there. And then my center is 5 5/8 by 9 7/8. So I'm going to lay these 2 guys down first on the sides. So you can either glue them down now, whichever you prefer. I would do the outer sides first. This will be actually easier because you want to keep these the same size so it looks, and you could always cut this down. So actually I'll do the sides first. I think that will be, it'll work better. Just keep a hair away from the hinge so it will close. Before I add my adhesive, I'm just going to check. We're good. You know, this is a nice size album to sit on your side table, your couch tables, because it's not too big. It's one that's easier to just kind of flip through and enjoy. Or it's one you might want to use to journal in. You could even do this all white and journal in it. Whoops. Make sure stuff's not falling out as I turn this in just a moment. Okay. Now that's a better fit. Okay. Let's do our outside here. And we'll get, there they are. That's what I thought I lost. Let's go ahead and get the matting here. And it's this one. And it's here somewhere. Oh, here it is. And this piece, you should be able to do 3 7/8 by 9 7/8. And I'm going to take this tape off. So this is the first time I'm putting it on an actual album. We've been working with these magnets. We just are having the manufacturer do a little change to them. They're big. They're big, big. See, I had the too small. You're going to be able to put just one on an album. And that's it. Now, because of the manufacturer we're using, and we're having to do some changes, we're not sure when they'll be ready, but you're going to love them because you won't have to use your small magnets. You're going to be able to use your big magnet, one per cover, and that's it. And it's going to hold it. There's no more of this, oh gosh, my magnets didn't hold. And I said, you can see it's bigger. Well, I don't know. Still can't see it, can you? I'm really happy with them. I just need some changes done to them before we finalize. Love it. And let me tell you, when this baby closes, it's closed. It's closed. So, no more cover slapping, but I'm not sure. It'll be just a little bit more time before they're ready. Now we have all these pieces and parts. So let's get started. For this flap, I'm just going to give you the measurements. I'll show you the two pieces as we go that I'm cutting. 6 3/8 by 9 3/4. There's two of those. No, there's not. There's one of those. Because we have our lay flat pocket on here. Don't listen to me. Our lay flat pocket goes on the outside, but for the top piece, mine I had to do different if you remember from the video. I have to have a full piece here because I ended up rounding my corners, and we did that during the video. Then we have the little side piece here, and we have our trees. The inside was all the solid. So that's the measurements that I'm giving you, except out here. Now, for your lay flat pocket, my background piece I cut 6 1/2 by 6 5/8, and then we'll do our pocket with our scraps. And then our pieces that go on this flap here, you want two of them. One, and they are 4 5/8. Mine's 9 3/4. So I have a heart, and then I have the cute little petite flowers with the dark blue background. This one's going on the inside. This is on the outside. And then my inside trees, if you're going to do your full page, this is where I'm dividing mine up because I ran out 6 5/8 by 9 7/8. If you want to do it the whole thing just in your trees, I'm going to be doing it like this. Show you. So if you want to do it this way, more pieced, break it up. You want a 5 by 8 This is 5 by 8. This scrap that I had was 1 5/8 by 8. So it matches this matting, and this little bottom piece. It's 1 5/8 by 6 1/2 for the bottom. It was a little short, but I thought, you know, it's okay. Otherwise, you can cut the full thing out of your trees. I'm going to start with this back page here. So you can cut it like this with what you have now, or you can wait for your papers and then do it all in the trees. Tip really does make a difference on our art glitter glue. If you've ever used it, haven't used your glue without the tip, well, this is good proof right here. But what I'm going to do is I take super hot water. There's a lot of different ways to clean them. And I take Dawn, the blue Dawn. I don't know if it matters. Dawn is good, but I get told it is different. So, and then I add a touch of vinegar in there. It just seems to break it up just a tiny bit. And I'm going to let them soak overnight on my tips tonight. Tomorrow, I'll get my pipe cleaners, and you'll get all this gooey stuff out. And then your tips are like new. And there's other ways. I've even used gunk off. I'm going to hurry. Hearts on the inside. I thought it went pretty good with the color palette. This, I am being told, is a newer designer with Cartabella. She's doing some Cartabella and Authentique. I'm pretty sure this is her. It is, because she's doing some of the new florals. And she has quite a different look. Like I said, I feel a lot of the 70s look here, but she does a lot of, you can see the different patterning. And you're going to see it in her new stuff that's coming out this spring and summer. How do you lose your spatula when you're using it? And so it is different to work with. I wouldn't say it's eccentric, but it is, well, it's a little patterny at times, but it's I like it. It's fun. I had to turn this sideways. So this is that big long one. And after I did get it, this was, I think, her first one they released, and started working with it. I like it. It has a fun feel that you would put your definitely younger kids in, teenagers, Wilbur, your garden. Definitely feels Wilbur the Beagle to me. And his outside pictures. I do have grandkids, I promise. I have 11. And I do have them in books and albums. Okay. Like that flat pocket's going to go there. But let's go and get our netting done. And I accidentally rounded that corner, so a little more of my black shows there, but I thought we'll go with it. Right here on this little guy, I counted with the size of pictures I use with my printers. I can get 15 to 20 pictures because I use the 2x3 printer, and I use my 4x6, but I cut them down to about 3x5s. You can get quite a few in here. Before we do that lay flat pocket, let's go ahead and do this back side. So for the back side, I have 3 pieces. Let's check it here. The white, okay. And instead of the pink polka dots, I'm using the butterflies. We didn't have that. And I want the butterflies to tie this all in. I thought it looked really cute. Let's start with our white matting. The white is 5 3/8 by 6 1/4. So 6 1/4 goes this way. Then this little bottom piece, 5 3/8 by 3 1/4. And our side piece, 9 3/4 by 1 1/4. 9 3/8 by 1 1/4. So I'm actually putting this down first. It just feels comfortable to do that. And then my white. Trying to keep that pretty centered. Yeah, I know that's kind of a lot of patterns going on. I didn't think of that, but it's okay. It's just kind of the feel of the paper. Now our lay flat pocket. So that is one thing that I'm going to have to change, where on the original one I use this at the top, because I have to mat the whole thing. If you remember, I'm going to use mine as a belly band type pocket because I rounded the corners and I really can't round the corners of these. So I'm going to have to cut a piece that is the full length of the paper. You only need to do the half. So I'll do the 9 5/8 by 6 5/8. Let's see what I have. Now I'm going to go with the black and the white. 9 5/8 by 6 5/8. I need to round 3 corners. That is in the tutorial. Remember, I got a little corner happy. Okay, starting over fresh. Now I won't have flakies everywhere. So for me, well, and you can put yours down. And remember, you don't need to go as far. You only need to go, that's about 6.5. Goodness. Smear ink. That's okay. Smeared ink again. You know, this is a new formula. Not a new formula. It's a new batch of the premium ink. I didn't use to smear. For some reason, I'm having some smearing this time. I'll have to talk to them. Okay, my lay flat pocket will now sit there. And I need to check, just like you do, before we put it all together, unless you've gone ahead and did the matting. So it should match perfectly side to side. 6 5/8 is going to be our matting. Really simple. We're going to do, I know the bottom's 2 1/4, so 2 1/8, 2 1/8. And the top one, well, no, we're going to do 2 1/8 here, 1 1/2 and 1 1/2. And they all have to be 6 5/8 long. So let's go ahead and grab some pieces. Let's start with the house. And this one's going to be my 2 1/8. There's not going to be, I mean, you don't even have to really worry too much. This is that Bow Bunny. It was that scrap. 6 5, or yeah, 6 5/8. This one I'll cut 1 1/4. Will be plenty. So let's choose from our scraps. Let's see that. Kitties. Going in one direction. Okay. Let's go. I was hoping to find that piece of mushroom. I got it. So I'm going to take the blue out. I want the mushrooms and pink polka dots. So I'm going to put the pink polka dot scrap in the center. 6 5/8. Probably the 1 1/4 or so. 6 5/8. Let's go. I went over 1 1/2. So 1 5/8, just so I could move my mushrooms up. There. See, I want them to be at the top. And pink. And the house is at the bottom. Okay, time for our ink. Now, I don't want it smeared in the front, so I'm going to turn this over to the back. And it keeps it from smearing on the front or getting too much. See, I can get more back here and just smear it, make my boo-boos there instead of on my pattern that I want to use for the other side. And I do that a lot on white papers. I'll do the opposite side so I don't mess up the whole front. Okay, let's do this outside piece first. finished laying flat. Okay, now our center. We don't need to put that on yet, but we need to mat it towards the top. This part, you don't have to worry about. We're going to hide that. And this sits right down at that score line, all the way down. So I'm going to hold it there, making sure it's down at the score line where it belongs. I'm going to add my adhesive just to the sides. It's not using the tip, that is too much. And then just close that up. Now the whole idea on our lay flat pocket is that it's not bulky, and it still will hold quite a bit, as you'll see, but it's not made as an accordion to hold a ton. And this piece also needs to just go to the top. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to adhere this. And we just need to go, you'll see where this pocket starts. That's as far down. Just need to take the glue about to there. Good Lord. Just so it's a little over that edge. Okay, we'll hold that for just a moment. Now, you're going to put yours right down at the bottom. And then here's one thing you can decide. See, this is open. And I did leave it open on this side. I'm going to close it on my right-hand side by just adding adhesive to that inside. And then you're going to add, just put it right to the bottom. I'm putting mine in the center, more of a, so it's going to be a belly band. So you're going to want to add adhesive to the two short sides and one bottom. And that's going to give you 1, 2, 3 pockets. I'm just adding adhesive here and here. Then I have pocket, pocket, and belly band. Or I could do, oh, maybe I will. I'll just close this off, and then so I'm going to do 3 sides also. But it can be that belly band. So let's do our adhesive on 3 sides. Place yours at the bottom unless you want it to be up top like I'm having mine. And that's the nice thing about this. You can put this pocket anywhere that you want. And you make it identical. Say your page is 8 by 8. You just make it 8 inches long. But you still make it the exact same way. There's no differing. And I just pin it up on my computer so I remember my measurements. So I know I can do this pocket. I did the one for the cookie album. And it actually holds a lot. But every page had the lay flat. So it doesn't matter what size album, it's going to fit. And then we have this pocket that will fit the cute little 4x6. You just cut it down a little bit. And see, that's heavy enough. That's why we don't need a magnet. Super heavy, and it just holds everything down. And I need to get the matting on that done. And so that is the inside. Now for the outside, I went ahead. And we're using, I already cut mine, but let me show you. Such a mess, such a mess. So again, this, you might be waiting to do yours. And I'm going to do the pink, of course. In your lace, you'll have that in your kit. You have the one bow, large if it's large, small if it's small. And we are going to cut a 9 7/8 by 9 7/8 of an inch piece for in here. No, it's 10 inches by 9 7/8. And our little flap is 3 7/8 by 9 7/8. So I'll get that piece cut. And I can bring my scoreboard back to work on. Then for my side spines, I did use the black. That one. But you definitely can use any of the scraps. And I'm not even sure if I have any of that left because of my boo-boo. So I do have this one. We have this one. So totally your choice. That's what's kind of fun. Looks like I'm going to go with the pink. We'll see. We'll get this down first. Maybe we'll go with the hearts. Then the back side was the leftover pieces also. So I just kind of pieced those. And we'll do that too. But let's go ahead and get these guys on. And I really did toy with the using. I was going to actually use the whole thing like this, but it just didn't work out. So we'll go ahead and use, remove that. Yeah, I got a little extra there. Let's try that again. So I'm good at straight. Try not, there we go. Didn't want anything to fall out. on that magnet for a minute. And the polka dot piece. And it's so strong. I love it. And the bows. So the bows were assorted colors, but they all matched. They were cut from the paper. So let me grab what's in the kit I'm using. We'll also need the sticker sheets, the flowers, and the bow. Oh, the bow. Okay. So I have more of the floral. So what I did is I did a strip. I'll try to put the bow together. I did a strip down the center here that matched the bow. And it is, I believe, 1 inch. No, it's 1.5 inch by 9 7/8. And if you don't want to use the matching bow color, that's okay too. I mean, it doesn't have to be the same. Oh, I like that. I also liked that black and white piece I had. And of course, where did it go? Oh, I do have it for the sides. Perfect. I'm going to go with it. Let's see what happens. Lace is going up on top of it, so. One and a half. Definitely different, but it's okay. I like it. Lace was a little different size. And this is the same lace that was in your kit. We'll go with it. Let me ink the edge. And I'm just doing the eyeball centered. Now for the bow. Let's do this first. I take my bone folder. I round those and I round those two. This we're not going to do anything with. Then on the tabs, I'm just lining it up so that our bows match there, top to bottom. Same with the second. Add some adhesive on that tab. And it's cute just like that. But we'll add it to the tails. And for the lace, I'm going to use my 3/8 of an inch score tape. And I am just putting it down the middle of whatever paper you choose. And you can use glue for this, whichever you choose. The lace is a pretty, you know, little delicate kind of holy one. So I find that score tape does work best. But let's go ahead and square off that corner. And lay it down. It's stretchy a little bit. Let me tell you what I cut. So it should be about 9 7/8. Yes, it is. And with everything we put on top of it, it will help to hold it down. Like I said, it is a little bit stretchy. All right, I have got to hold this up so I can get it straight. There we go. Now, if you like to wrap your lace, you certainly can do that first. We should show that part but I'm just not a lace wrapper. This one is enough that it probably would be fine to wrap. Now, once I get it down, because the art glue will go underneath there. I'm just going to lightly smear it with my fingers, and it really will be enough to hold it. So let's get the flowers and the ephemera. Okay, I'm going to switch albums here for just a moment to show you. In your ephemera, this is where I'm going to have to do a little bit different. Like I mentioned, I do apologize, but we had a shortage of the ephemera that came to get things out. So this big one was in your ephemera, and I just backed it with cardstock. So I will be choosing a different one to use. And that really is so cute. So you have that in your kit. I'm going to be using just this little square one. And it's a little dish of love, but you want to back it. So I'm going to back it at 2 3/4 by 4. And your other one, just measure it side to side. And then you'll want to cut your matting out of the cardstock you're using. still going to do the flowers and everything the same. 2 3/4 by, let's go 4. I still need the tape. And you'll still need that scrap piece of your cardstock that you're using. So hang on to those for a minute. We're going to have to mat our houses and our butterfly. Oh, you know, I don't want to ink the edges. This is all white. Where'd my red go? There it is. And then I had a request because I have some people that say they don't have foam tape or foam dots, and that, you know, I totally understand. So I want to show you something a little different that you can do. So, for those of you, if you do not have a foam dot and you want to pop this up, what I do, well, this, first of all we need is, and I am just cutting it by hand instead of in my big cutter, so I can show you, for those of you who don't have things, and it's not even perfectly straight. So it's only 1 inch, and don't cut yourself. So I'm going to add some glue, because I did get an email that asked me, what do you do when you don't have that, or we just don't have it accessible to us for whatever reason? Totally understand. You just take your cardstock, your chipboard, and no one's going to see it. You could even wrap this in cardstock if you wanted, but you'll want 2 of them. And this is kind of like the old way. I know I used to do this I'm talking years ago. Let that dry. Or if you don't like to mess with foam dots, but see, it's going to pop it right up there. No one can see it. And it's kind of, you know, you feel like you're using up your stash. And then you can just center whatever you're going to use here. And let that dry. A little, oh, yeah, we need to let it dry. That's the only thing on that lace. So we're going to let that dry for just a minute before we go on. And let's go ahead and do the house and the butterflies. So let me show you those. The house is from your sticker sheets. We're going to mat those, and so is our butterfly. So from your sticker sheet, so you have some fussy cutting to do. And I'm going to start with Mr. Butterfly here. Let me get something else heavy to put on there. Here we go. Add adhesive to the back. Stickers are great, but they're not made to last if you don't add adhesive. And then leave room. We're going to fussy cut. And we're going to take these 3 houses that are just adorable and do the same thing. Leave room for your fussy cutting. I start just by cutting apart. But you're just leaving lots of space so you can cut around that house. But get rid of the bulk because it just makes it so much easier. And then you need a good pair of fussy cutting scissors. And these are the best. Start with our butterfly. Don't worry about being perfect. Just keep your eye where your scissors are and turn the paper. And your scissors will follow. Now, when you get to the little antennas, I'm going to skip over those for now. We'll come back. Don't try and get every single nook and cranny. You won't. You'll tear the paper or you'll just get frustrated. And if you've had a boo-boo, just cut it down the same as the butterfly. I'll show you. We're going to round our corners. We're going to fix those with a file. Now, if you want, I didn't in the original one go down in there because it's just too much work. But I take a fingernail file now and go round. Let's round those corners that we didn't quite get rounded. Paper is a wood product, so it files nicely. Just go one couple times over there and round that edge that I didn't cut perfectly. And there you go. Now, I'm going to lay my butterfly down and I'm folding one wing and I'm folding the other wing, keeping that center somewhat square. Glue everywhere. And now he becomes dimensional. I just need to get this off my fingers. So he's ready to go. Let's do our houses. And fussy cutting, I could not do it before. I tried with the Tim Holtz scissors. I tried with many different scissors. I'm telling you, these are the only scissors. Or if you get some of those really pretty fancy little ones that I can fussy cut with because they're just a nice, smooth as butter cut. Of course, the artisan cardstock makes it nice too because it's just a nice, smooth cut. And just like that, it's cut. Cool, huh? Let me get rid of my garbage. Nice and dry. Oh, yes. And I can add my bow to the bottom. There we go. Underneath a little bit. You do have to hold this for a second. Flowers are going to go at the top. And I'm going to add another piece of lace right there. push kind of hard. Okay. I can keep working. Oh, dot on there. Then we'll put, if you want that second piece down here. I've got a crooked end, I don't know why. Now the houses, I am going to use the pop dots. But if you don't have them, you could definitely cut little squares of your chipboard. Again, I use my adhesives. And I'm going to double my dots. And you don't even have to do this. You can just lay them down flat if you'd like. No, we better put a couple up there. Same here. I know, that's kind of a lot of dots. So if you don't want to use that many, of course not. You don't have to. Ugh, glue everywhere. I'm making a mess. Put our neighbors down right there. Now, this kind of looked bare, but it did kind of drown. I mean, it kind of died into, but it still was enough to see, and so I really liked it. Oh, goodness. Well, he's going to have to wait. It's not wanting to stick on there at all. But there's something I want to show you with this. You need to be very gentle when taking your banner off. There's not much for it to hang on there. And then it's just going to kind of go in the center here. And I did add the dots of my art glue to each pennant. Just kind of like a neighborhood banner. And then our cute little butterfly. And he's all dimensional. So you can use a dimensional dot. And let's cut it into a strip. See, and it will sit right there. I'm only going to use one. He doesn't need to be that high. And then I took, oh, this cute little blue one. And we'll have the flowers here in just a minute. So I'll have the cute little blue one. And this admit one, well, that happens to be in your ephemera pack. And since I've already used mine, let's use, always enchanting, so it doesn't, have to be a ticket. And I have grateful. So I'll put the flowers down. We'll put the flowers down. I'm not going to adhere them, but I'm going to show you what I did. 3 of the small ones and what I call a medium one. They're really nice flowers. These are fun too. These are the ones I used at the top. So I used the 2 browner ones. Yes. And this larger white one. So I just put them together. Take one of your wires and give it a twist around. Like so. Arrange them how you want, and then I'm going to use I have my button cutter. Where'd it go? It's like, where did everything go when I go to use it? It's here. I'm the last person that used it, but we'll go ahead and use our Tim Holtz scissors because they work great too. But your Tim Holtz, don't use your fussy cutting ones. Now, I had problem. Usually I just use art glitter glue. Good night here. But seeing that it didn't work very great, and leave it tell. It didn't want to play very nice. Okay. Now we can bend them where we want. And it sticks underneath there, so I will need to use art glitter glue. And you're going to have flowers left over. And actually, I do need to do mine a little different. For the bigger one, I'll show you again. I had it like so, but I think this time I'm going to turn my wire that way, and then I will hot glue it this way. Because I don't want it to cover the wording. There was no wording on this one. So see, there's those 3 small ones, and right there. And let's take some greenery. Oh, no. we got plenty of greenery. I didn't use the greenery, but you can definitely use the greenery. You can use these cute little wires that poke out, and you can cut these to the lengths you want, but they're fun to just, let me show you. I would cut it, of course, and then have sticking out here flower. Glossy accents works really well to glue those down. And I am going to have to use the hot glue gun, but I didn't turn it on. I would use my art glitter glue, but being that lace, it's not, it'll take it because it took the chipboard one, but it's just taken a while to dry, so, and I don't have my hot glue gun on. So now you can put your flowers back. These are the new Graphic 45. I really like them. They are sturdy. They're really a big flower. Where'd that come from? They're a big flower, so, I mean, they're full. They're not chintzy at all. They're nice flowers. So you'll have those just to use again and anywhere you want. My bow went flying. Piece there somewhere. So let's go to the inside now of our book. So I'll put these away. No, we need to do the outside. Sorry. Just kind of flatten him down. Don't worry. He'll pop back up when you fix him. We need to do the sides. They're 1 inch by 9 7/8. So I'm still going to just use these to match. And 1 inch. Or is it 1 1/4? No, it's 1 inch and 1 inch. Now the back side. If you have enough paper, you might be waiting. This is where I did piece it. I'm going to have to do it a little different because I do not have any more of this. I ran out after, and we sent it all out. So I'm going to actually use this one and double, kind of do a double thing there. That it lay it flat. So I'm going to cut these both down to 9 7/8. And now I'll know where to cut this. And it is going to overlap just a little bit. I'll put that cute border on there. And I'll give you the measurements. So this piece, 9 7/8, and it's 2 3/4. My top piece is the 7 5/8. And there will be that little bit of an overlap. And those flowers are upside down. Okay, let's ink our edges, and we'll put that down, and I'll show you what I did with the sticker. Here's my bow. Put the top down first. Okay, on your sticker sheet, and you can choose either one. You have the cute hearts or you have the other border strip. What I do, so I pull it off, turn it upside down, and if it was an easy joint, I would have just cut it, but it's not. So we're going to put it in our cutter, and we know we need it to be 9 7/8. That's what our matting is. That other little piece back on my sheet, and then it should fit. And then you even have, if you want, from your ephemera pack, this would be really cute to put there, to put the date to and from, or made by. I didn't put that on the other, and I thought, how cute is that? So we're going to use it. Or did I? No. Now, because this is mostly white, I did not ink those edges. You can if you want. I just don't want to because I don't want it to look all inked up. And the white has the white core, so we're good. In between there. Making sure they're going in the right direction. And of course, I've got to get my bow on, and I'll do that and let it dry and my flowers before I go up. So there is the cover. I kind of like that. It gives it more of a modern look. Let's go ahead and go into our pages, and let's look and see where we are on the decorating. So on here, there was nothing, but I'm going to have to do something on mine. And when you get your extra cut aparts, these are the 4x6 cards, and then these were just random sizes that I cut from the leftover paper. And this is 4x6. It was not a cut apart, but I cut it the same, and this should be 5.5 by 5.5, just to fit down inside of that pocket. And on the inside, let's go and grab our Home Sweet Home little sticker. And I'm just going to place this up in the corner like I did before. I added the adhesive to the sticky so it makes it a forever sticker. Nothing there. And of course, for me, I will have something here because I'll come back and do that last so I don't use the sticker that or the ephemera. Oh, that's what I thought. I knew I used that somewhere, and then I used the flag from the ephemera. So let me grab it in the kitchen. And out of your ephemera pack, you have a bunch of different little flags. You should have a total of all of those. So I'm going to use the pink this time, since I used the green one in my last album. And I added the adhesive just to the top, so I could slide a picture underneath. Made it even there with my, because this is on my finger. So I'm going to bring a little over the edge so that it gave me more room. So I just brought it down. None in there. And in here is just the 3x4 cut apart. So you'll be receiving that in the mail with the kit. You'll have extra. And I didn't put any other stickers there. No need to. I'll come back to this. So on our banners here, the only part, the stoppers, I only put a couple of stickers. And at the top one, and I really like it, it's, I use this one, but this top one, Warm and Snuggly, oh, it should be here. It's right here. It's blending in. So this is going to go on the top when I make that one. And together, we'll go on the bottom. And of course, you can add any other decorations that you'd like. And there was none on the inside of here. On the white, I may go back after I put pictures down, and that's where you can use some stickers. Okay, let me give you the measurements, because you'll cut these with your scraps. I cut them at 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, and I believe I did show. I just cut off the corners. I showed it in the original tutorial, and I made 4. Or you can use cut aparts, whatever you like. Okay, your cute little Let's Go for a Walk is the ephemera pack. Same thing, just back it in some cardstock if you want. So it's double matted, and the same with your frame. I showed that briefly. And your Sweet Afternoon Breeze is your ephemera pack, and that is your ephemera pack. So I will choose something different from mine, because it definitely does need. And you have these cute, you do have these really cute tags that are in the ephemera pack. And I don't know if I want Hello Harvest, but Always Enchanting is pretty cute. And Autumn Memory. So what I'm going to probably do here, I'm going to wait and cut a frame from my, I'm getting some dies in, so I'm going to wait and cut a frame out of the heart paper, and then the same here, because I really like that one. And these just aren't quite doing it. Let's see. You could go Warm and Snuggly, but again, I could use that for a picture also. And see, the rest of my pieces pretty much talk about fall. So I showed you what to do on that one. And here I just did, I will do this in a second, the 3x4 cut aparts. And this one is on here. So if you didn't have enough, you'll be getting another one. And I just cut this out. And then these are going to be really cute because they'll slide right inside there. And I just backed it on cardstock that's 4x6. And same with this one. I backed it on the matching so it just fits down in your pocket. put some twine. So let's do this from our sticker sheet. And I put it on the pocket and it does extend over. That's why I put matting on mine. I think we'll still do it. That's pretty cute. Okay, I need a piece of black. And because it does extend over the one pocket, of course, you don't want the sticky side there. And let's cut. Oh, just notice that. Not being super perfect. I'm just turning the paper to go with the outline somewhat, which is pretty jaggedy, so perfection is not needed when fussy cutting, I promise. Now see, that will extend above this pocket, and then we will add this really cute tradition sticker kind of underneath the flower pot for the picture. So let me just hold the picture where I'm going to have it. Let's glue this down first. Tradition. And you definitely can add more here of your sticker sheets and keep layering if you want. And then keep my thumb back there because we don't want adhesive where it's going to be part of overlapping our pocket. And on this one, since it's a little different, I am going to bring in some of the gold. It'll be covered with the cut part in there, I'm sure, for a tag, but I'm going to put that black up there. Make sure everything's down. See, now your pocket's usable behind there. On this one, I put happy at the top. So I'm going to use the happy for down here. And this is also another one of those. You need to be very careful when taking it off the sheet. It's not a super thick one. And you will have to poke out some of those. Trying to get my little garbage can. I can't. There we go. No. Okay. And I promise you'll be so much happier if you glue your stickers, because then when you open your book after sitting for a while, you won't have stickers that aren't there anymore. You know, this has a lot of embellishments too for really cute recipe albums. Okay, now up here on the blue, that's where I added to break up the color and to blend in the florals. And you can mat this if you'd like, so you can stick the photo up behind it. And then to the back side, oh, it's going to be a shop vacuum night, let me tell you. I use my shop vacuum after and just get everything picked up. Is the cute teapot. What's better than having tea or coffee with friends? Nothing, let me tell you, nothing. And then our sweet little life. I had put, there you go, right there, and I'm going to do the same. Just our sweet little life. Just I love that. So again, how cute for a new family. Maybe just moving into their new home. I like it in the black. I like it in the, let's take a look again. I like it in the craft, and I do like it in the black. Kind of, it just has a different, I don't know, feel. It's amazing. So right here now I can go back and see what I didn't use that will fit in that area that isn't fall. Well, you know, that's perfect. Then I can just write a date. Dates are important. And that kind of takes care of that little boo-boo. And there you have your Our House family album. It can be a family album, definitely a gift. Lots of room. I won't open that one. I can't wait to cut the frame for there. And then go ahead with your cut aparts, whatever else you would like to add in here. Cute little album, and really you can expect between 35 and 50 pictures once you start putting them in here and however you want to lay them out. But it sure was a fun album to make. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that your papers get there really fast if we're sending you more. And I do apologize, but thank you for being so patient with us, with me. And I know the papers are on their way, and you'll be able to finish up your album and then show us over on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations on Facebook. We have a group, and not only do we keep doing more tutorials there, I do a Monday night one. All tutorials are free, always free, and for you to use and enjoy. So thank you again, and I'll see you on our next project.